I didn't. I fell out of love with it, and this is something you just have to be super passionate about because it's nights and it's weekends and it's 24/7. There's always sports going on, and I just didn't love it anymore. And the industry was changing a lot. Like this was quite a few years ago now, like about 10 or 11 years ago now, but it just was changing so much, and I didn't see a great future in it, and I just wasn't enjoying the job I was doing. I was anchoring 5 nights a week in Red Deer, and I don't know. I just didn't love it anymore. It's funny because I never missed it until one day, all of a sudden, my brother and I were watching a sports show, and he's like, "Why did you ever leave? You were so good at it." And I was like, "I don't know, Dev. I fell out of love with it, and you have to be in love with it to do it because it is so consuming." And that's when I started to, like, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was just like, oh, I wonder if I could ever get back in. And no word of a lie, about 10 days later, I got a phone call from the news director at the time at Global, and they needed somebody to fill in for a short-term disability. And they thought of me, they called me, and I was just like, well, let's give it a shot and see what happens. And then I came back, so I was working part-time. I was working my regular communications full-time job Monday to Friday, and then I would do global sports on Saturday and Sunday. And I just fell back in love with it, and I was like, if this doesn't turn into full-time, I'm going to be heartbroken. Yeah. So I was so lucky that it ended up being a full-time permanent job coming out of that. But it was just crazy. The universe just like presented it, and you just had to go with it. So